Video and photo backlogs can leave you overwhelmed, exhausted, and burnt out. We've been there, and our fears of outsourcing stopped us in the past. Can you find an editor as invested in your brand as you are? Will other photographers and filmmakers we network with look down on us for not editing everything on our own? That fear of outsourcing can be detrimental to your career. That's why we love our partnership with Weditor. Their attention to details with not only our work, but also their care for their clients through all steps of the outsourcing process lets us fully step back from editing and focus on what we love, knowing our work is receiving the attention it needs. More than just editing, Weditor is passionate about demystifying the outsourcing market. Follow Weditor on Instagram at we_r_Weditor for free educational tips, tools, and resources to guide you through the insanity of today's editing market. For an even deeper dive, follow Weditor's blog at weditor.com/outsourcing.
Welcome to the We Got You podcast, a network curated for wedding photographers and filmmakers that dives deep into the strategies and tactics to transitioning a side hustle in the wedding industry into a full-time, thriving career. We're your hosts, luxury wedding filmmaker Emma K. Films and luxury destination wedding photographer Hannah Brook Photography. It wasn't too long ago that we picked up our cameras for the first time, having absolutely no idea where it would lead us. Years later, we're traveling the globe for beautiful destination weddings, built our dream lifestyles, and run multi-six-figure careers. It didn't happen overnight and it wasn't easy, but it is attainable and so worth it. And we're ready to teach you our strategies. Covering a variety of topics from both our first-hand experiences and reputable guest speakers' insights crucial for business growth, we're exploring the art of marketing within your niche, discussing effective ways to attract and retain clients, leverage social media, and build a strong online presence, and so much more. We're not shying away from talking through the challenges of the wedding industry and offering realistic solutions to navigate them successfully. We emphasize the importance of networking, establishing meaningful relationships with clients, and continuously honing one's craft to stand out in a competitive market. This is the We Got You podcast.
Hello. Welcome to the We Got You podcast. It's a new start to the week. We are very thankful that you are listening to another episode. Hannah and I, the last few months have seen so much growth with We Got You podcast. It's been so cool seeing everyone engage on our Instagram and so many new faces to the Facebook group. It's been so cool. We've had tons of new collaborations and lots of giveaways happening. So if you want in on some of that, we really encourage you to join the Facebook group and follow us on Instagram, because we are truly just all about community and we want to be able to give you a place where you can ask questions, you can get help, but you can also take part in the fun giveaways, because why not? We've also had tons of wedding referrals that have come out as well. So we want you to be a part of all of that. But again, Hannah and I are just here to say, we're so thankful for your support constantly. This week, we are going to dive in with one of our sponsors, Vidflow. And this episode is not here to be an ad at all. This is not a sales episode. This is genuinely, we're going to dive into the back end of how Vidflow has built an online brand that has truly so quickly become so widely and rapidly well known. And I think even as a videographer, for me, it's been really cool seeing this platform be built and then just, again, everyone is using it. And so we're going to dive into how they have built this online brand and how it's become so widely and rapidly known. I know many of you, whether you're a photographer or you're a videographer, maybe you've been thinking, how can I make my brand more widely known? Or maybe you've been thinking about creating something on the sidelines, maybe a new platform or a different side business that you want to see grow. And so this episode is really targeted to any photographer, videographer, any creative out there who wants to build an online brand and see it grow quickly. So all that to be said, I'm super, super excited to be here today with Shubham and Suhail from Vidflow. How are you both?
Hey, Emma. Hey, Hannah. We're super excited to be on We Got You podcast. This is Shubham. I'll just introduce myself briefly. Shubham at Vidflow. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO and CTO. So I handle the tech behind the platform and kind of make decisions on a day-to-day basis. Originally from Canada, so that's Go Canada.
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself as well. So my name is Suhail. I'm also one of the co-founders at Vidflow, and I'm the chief of design and marketing. So I currently oversee, all the interface design, designing all the backend interface and the client galleries, and also in charge of the marketing and partnerships.
I love that. So how did you go about in the beginning stages coming up with the idea for Vidflow? I mean, were you both in the wedding industry beforehand? Like, how did you go about just like creating this idea of what would become a video delivery platform?
Yeah, it kind of started from like a personal problem. We saw that like for wedding videographers, they were delivering on Blu-ray discs or DVDs or even USBs, and they came with their own challenges. People, the end clients, the couples, they didn't have access to a DVD player or a Blu-ray player. So we really saw this problem firsthand in our own lives. So that kind of prompted that we do have a background in software development and design. So we kind of see that, hey, maybe we can do something here. We can build a product in this industry. And I think timing was another kind of great aspect too as well. We launched our company in early 2019, and the industry was really going through this kind of shift at that time. Like physical media was really getting outdated at that time, and videographers were really looking for a good solution. So I think we came at a really good time as well. So I think that also gets a lot of credit as well in terms of our timing. And yes, we had expertise in software development and design, and then we just took that product to market.
I love that. No, that's so cool. And it is really like timing it right, of knowing, okay, hey, digital marketing in the last 5 years has become so, it's dominating every other term and everything else, right? And so it's like we have gone from like, even like when I first started my business, it was like, oh, like I'm going to deliver it on a USB thumb drive. Whereas now it's like I am just digitally delivering. If I'm going to include a USB thumb drive, it's just kind of a luxury add-on, right? But like everybody wants something digital. And so obviously recognizing like, hey, times are changing and we want to create something. You want to be one step ahead, right? Like you want to be one step ahead of everyone else before they get to it. So all that to be said, this is obviously a big question. And we really want to focus this on like, as an online brand, how did you grow an online brand to genuinely become like a worldwide leader in the wedding field? I know that like every videographer I talk to, like they all use Vidflow. How did you go from, okay, like we have this idea, we've created this, this need, this want. How did you grow it to become what everyone uses now?
Yeah, so I think one of the key things that our core value right from the beginning was listen to the customer. So when we came into the market, we actually pivoted a few times. Our initial product was actually targeted at couples. So we're trying to go, because we're not coming from a videographer's point of view, we were coming from a couple's point of view. Our problem, viewpoint of the problem was completely different. So we tried selling to the couples, but we quickly figured that, okay, it's the videographer's product. Videographer is the one who's going to upload. So I think really understanding that customer's perspective, who's going to use the product really, and their requirements, building that into the platform, and then going from there. Every day we want to listen to the customers. We want to hear what do they want, how are we bringing value to them on a regular, everyday basis? So I think that's really helped us in just acquiring a customer base over time.
I love what you mentioned about really putting yourself in your clients, in the couple's perspective. I think a lot of us, when we start new platforms, when we start new businesses, we're thinking like, okay, like we're coming from a wedding video background. So like, what are we looking for, right? It's like the same when you build a wedding venue, right? Like a lot of wedding venues, we think, what do we want? Instead of thinking, what do our clients want? What would a photographer and a videographer want? And so in Vidflow's perspective, it really was like, what do couples want? They want something that's visually appealing. They want something that's easy to use, right? And so I think even just taking that for anyone out there who's like, I want to create this platform, you really need to put yourself in the shoes of what are your users? What do they actually want? And a lot of the times it's like, I feel like there's so many new platforms or things coming out that are just so complicated. We just need to make it easy. We just need to make it easy for people. So it's cool, like just going from that perspective. I'm curious to know from a marketing perspective, how now that you've built something that is so easy to use, very visually appealing, right? Like you're marketing to those couples. Like, how did you go about marketing it? How did you, now that you have it, how did you get to that point where like now everyone's using it? I mean, did you like give it out for free for a lot of videographers? Like, what was kind of your marketing tactic there at the beginning just to get it to be used by so many videographers?
Yeah, I think our transaction size, or the starting point for any videographer, when a videographer is starting out, they're not looking to sign up for all these subscriptions. So when we thought about this, we're like, okay, how can we really get that videographer or help that videographer who's just starting out into the industry to use a platform? To just, it's easy to go buy a single USB, but when you have all these platforms which are on subscriptions, now you're committing to them. So we came into the market and said, okay, let's just do it on project to project basis, which really jived with a lot of videographers in the market. Videography market is as such, is kind of like, if you will, seasonal market. You'll have shootings and then you'll have editing, but you're paying for a subscription, which is a year-round commitment. So I think that really kind of took a different view in the market.
Yeah, well, and like you said, Vidflow has been so different because you're not just marketing to one client. You almost have like two ideal clients. You're trying to make it where it is convenient and easy to use for couples when they're viewing their films, and it's something that they're wanting to see their films on. But then also it has to be something that videographers want to use and are willing to use. So like you said, like adjusting and pivoting to, okay, this is something that is new, that we're rolling out, that, isn't a standard in the industry yet. And so kind of having it on that project basis where instead of buying that one thumb drive and going out and doing that one thing for a wedding, they can come and do that through Vidflow and do that one thing through Vidflow and do that on a basis until it becomes the like lead in the industry, which it is now. Now it's no question. Everybody whose videographers are instantly signing up for Vidflow because they know what it is and they know that it is so receptive for their clients, and it's been huge.
Does your current client delivery system feel unexciting, limiting, and boring? Maybe you're still using good old Google Drive or Dropbox to deliver your clients' wedding films. If the answer to these is yes, it's time to level up your video delivery experience with Vidflow. Vidflow is a pay-per-use online platform that allows you to deliver fully branded websites for each of your clients. While being incredibly affordable, Vidflow is accessible on mobile, desktop, and smart TVs with included long-term hosting so that your clients can truly enjoy the entire experience when receiving their wedding films. When I first found Vidflow, it was such an easy switch that truly benefited my business substantially. With so many incredible features and options for customization and personalization, Vidflow continues to wow my clients time and time again. You can find Vidflow on Instagram or visit their website at vidflow.co. Use our code WGY20 for 20% off a yearly premium membership and level up your client experience today with Vidflow.
We'd love to know too, with like the marketing and everything, did you guys use like paid ads at the beginning? Did you find it beneficial if you did? Like, how did you go getting it out kind of to the masses when it was first coming out?
For paid ads, we believed we used it in the very early stages, when we were kind of validating our business idea. So at that point, it's paid ads are a very economical and kind of measurable way to kind of test your business ideas. So that was kind of very crucial in our early days. But going further, as we have matured as a company, we have leaned into more partnerships. There's a lot of Facebook communities online, such as how to film weddings, such as yourself as well. So yeah, I think those have converted a lot better for us, and to be involved in these communities, just talking to customers. So that have those avenues have worked much better. But yeah, like for paid ads, they helped us validate our ideas in our early stages. And for ongoing marketing, it also helps us validate our marketing messages. Which kind of copy, which kind of messaging is working well. So yeah, that's also useful there.
It's been really cool to see like the shift of, and maybe this is just like in my little corner of the world, but like I've noticed people like I'm not saying that ads are outdated because they're totally not, but it's been really wild seeing how we've really leaned way more into marketing with partners. We've really seen a lot more partnerships. We've also seen a lot, utilizing the Facebook groups. We've seen so much more influencing, right? I mean, influencing has become something that is just so relevant in today's age where it's like, hey, I would love to just like have you use it and you share about it. And the power of that is honestly worth, in my opinion, way more than an ad, because an ad, it shows your company, but it's not validating. It's not giving you that like credibility, that reputation that you need as someone being like, okay, wow, Emma uses it and Emma loves it. So if she loves it and uses it, then I'm going to use it. And I just think like for anyone, I think you can spend like if I were to create another company today, I would spend way more of my marketing into partnerships than I would ads. And I just think it's cool. It's really cool seeing that the shift, because I mean, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, influencing was really not a thing 10 years ago at all. You would go to paid ads. Going off that, what would you say are a few tips that you would give to someone who is thinking about creating an online platform or thinking about creating a new brand? What tips would you give them to help them be recognized and respected quickly?
Yeah, I think first most, I think building a platform which provides, we go by a generic term, 10x value. Create a platform which, from a current point, how you currently do business, provide a 10x value, build that platform. If you're not providing that much value, then it would be very difficult to get clients. So if you have that idea which provides that value, I think that's one of the key tips I would suggest.
Yeah, I think a second thing would be, in the industry we call it a MVP, a minimal viable product. So create something, when you're in the early stages, create something simple, that provides that initial value, and just test that idea, validate that idea. And once you have that validation, you can go ahead, put additional resources and build out the whole product. So yeah, start with an MVP, start with something simple, and just to test it out in the initial stages.
Yeah, I think right to that point, like with MVP, it's when we get into the business, we kind of think we know the customer, but we don't really know the customer. So it's when you have that MVP, it's much easier to pivot, much easier to say, okay, the customer actually wants this, so let's build it, let's change it up. So it's much easier rather than thinking and building a 1 year long project, which is going a software over 1 year long period, and now it's much difficult to change. So yeah, that MVP is I think a really good idea.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like so many people who are listening right now who might be wanting to kind of move in that direction of creating an online platform or kind of pivot their business. We do this as wedding professionals, as wedding creatives. Like we all have those like ideal clients. We're all trying to figure out, what does the client want? Where is the client located? Like, how are we going to market to them? And so it really is a lot of like similar ideas and shifting them over to, okay, now this is going to be an online brand. Like, who is this helping? Who am I trying to reach? Where are those people located? Like, it's a lot of the same metrics almost when you're thinking about it, but it's just all pivoted in a little bit of a different way.
Honestly, I so agree. And I just think even from like, just again, like honing in on that marketing perspective of knowing what you have created is unique. Again, like for the two of you at that time when you created it, I mean, your alternatives were a USB thumb drive or DVDs or right? Like it was just different. And so creating something that feels unique. And I even think, especially in today's age, creating something that is visually aesthetic, creating something that is going to draw attention, that is going to, again, like give those visuals that feel really beautiful. I know that especially when I'm using new platforms or I'm using anything for my clients, especially in the luxury market, I need it to be really easy to use and I need it to be really visually appealing, right? Like I'm no longer using Dropbox to deliver my films, for example, because it's not easy for my clients to use and it's not visually appealing, right? And so, and take that, not even just talking about video delivery, but on any online platform that I'm using, if it's dealing with my clients, I need it to be something that looks gorgeous and is easy to use. And so just for anyone out there who's thinking about starting their own company, starting their own business, starting their own online brand or platform, like really hone in on like making it beautiful. And it's funny to even kind of mention that, because I think, it's today's society, everything is about digital marketing and the aesthetic, right? But it's just the reality. It's just that is something that is so important. So yeah, we have truly, truly loved having you on today's episode. It's been cool to just kind of go through like really the process of even like Vidflow and how it started to where it is today, because I obviously wasn't there when it very first started, but even seeing now, it's like everyone uses it. Before we officially close, would love to get your website and your Instagram, just for those who are listening in the car who might want to go and follow along today.
Yeah, so for our website, you can reach us at vidflow.co, and our Instagram handle is the same as well, so at vidflow.co. And we're always collaborating with other creators on Instagram. So yeah, give us a follow.
Yay. Thank you guys seriously so much, like Emma said, for jumping in and just kind of sharing all of the back end and everything to your guys' business with all of our audience who are maybe thinking about pivoting their business or kind of switching lanes a little bit. It's so invaluable to get to hear both of your experiences. And then, if you guys are not following Vidflow, please make sure that you do so. If you are a videographer and you're not using Vidflow, I don't know what you are doing. So make sure that you hop on over and get signed up. But it is just so incredible, especially with how curated it can be to your own business. I'm so amazed by it. So make sure that you hop on over. And again, thank you guys both so much for joining us on today's episode. And for everyone listening, we will see you guys next week on the We Got You podcast. Thanks for listening to another episode of the We Got You podcast. We would absolutely love it if you could take an extra minute to leave us a review and let us know what you think. DM us a screenshot of it and we'll send you a coffee on us. If you want access to an exclusive community, rad freebies, giveaways, and wedding referrals, then join our Facebook group today. Also, if you aren't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you're following along on Instagram at WeGotYou_podcast to stay up to date. We'll see you next week on the We Got You podcast.